Hi guys and welcome back. Unfortunately, today is not the best day to talk, but it's also really important to go through what is happening because something really big is going on and you should be aware of what is happening and exactly why. So I will guide you through the whole story, trying to explain what are the behind the scenes that maybe you are not aware of. So let's dive into this topic and pay attention to everything. Just let me say that this channel is about educational content and nothing has to be intended as financial advice. And guys, don't forget to check all our links into the description below where you can find our weekly newsletter, our Twitter account, and you can also have the opportunity to support us if you like. And don't forget always to leave us a big thumbs up and drop a comment. That's the easiest way to support us. Okay guys, let's start immediately. So the situation is pretty bad. As you can see from almost any kind of asset, everything is down deeply. Just to give you an overview, this is what happened. Right now we are down by just around 20% just in 3 days. But the situation is even more crazy. Look at this chart. As you can see, this is our time frame and we have gone up by something like generally speaking 7%, but a couple of assets has done something like 10% in a matter of 15 minutes. But what is impressive is that after this big pump, we had a drawdown that has done around 20%, and again, some assets has done even less, even something like 30% down, so up and down. Why? Well, everything is related to the FTT story that, as you can see, has lost even more. Just to give you an idea, has done from here to here something like 87% in 2 to 3 hours, so insane. Okay, let's try to go back from the beginning of the story to try to explain why the market has been so volatile and why it is dumping so badly. Everything started with this article by Coindesk that was claiming that Alameda were insolvent, or better, they were using FTT, so this token that we are seeing here, that is also a token of FTX, that was the second biggest exchange into the market, and it is using it as a collateral with FTX to receive a loan. I want to add that FTX and Alameda Research are two different companies, even if they are connected, because Sam is engaged into both of the companies and they are sharing. Many times they have been supporting one to the other. That's the reason why FTX is involved. So the point is that Alameda has asked this loan to FTX, so receiving stablecoins, in exchange of FTT as a token to be vested, so to be locked as a collateral. The point, as you can understand, is that in the moment when the market is dumping so dramatically, if you have a loan that is collateralized by this asset, guess what? You are simply liquidated. Your loan is not something that you can anymore repay because the asset you have used is not valuable at all. And that's something that was pretty clear also from the chart. Look at how important was for FTX and Alameda to maintain the price of $22. That's quite weird, and that's the same that happened just the other day. Do you remember maybe that there were a lot of rumors about Binance and FTX? Yes, because you should know that Binance has been one of the first investors into FTX, and they had a lot of FTT tokens. These tokens were unlocked during the time, and right now they are fully unlocked. We are talking about something that was around 500 million. As you can see here, they are saying that it's about 580 million. Suddenly, after this announcement, Binance decided to move these funds. And Alameda answered, guys, don't sell these tokens into the market, but just wait, come to us, we can buy them for $22. Again, this number is coming out again. It's so important for them to maintain this level. As you can see from the chart, at the end, it ended pretty badly. The point is that we still don't know if this downfall has been triggered by Binance itself, so Binance has started to sell anyway their tokens, or if someone else has started to speculate, so saying, okay guys, it is becoming pretty clear that this threshold is so important. So what can happen is that if we try to break this support, the price can literally dump massively and we can earn a lot of money. Because remember guys, you can do money in the moment when the price is going up, but also when the price is going down. And that's exactly what happened. Suddenly the price simply fell down. The reality is that the situation is slightly more complex, because what happened in the last 24-48 hours is that a panic, a bank run started. And that's something that is pretty normal after what we have seen with Terra Luna, Three Arrows Capital, and all the crashes that we have seen in the last year. And the common suggestion that was also my suggestion in the moment when I shared my previous video, it was, guys, I'm withdrawing everything from FTX. Even if I like the exchange, the reality is that keeping your money there is still at the moment too dangerous. And unfortunately, the reality is that many people follow this advice, and what happened is that billions of dollars has been withdrawn from FTX. Do you know what is the problem? Is that in a certain moment, the liquidity available for FTX to satisfy all the people that were simply withdrawing their funds were not enough. That's the reason why Alameda has tried through the different wallets to replenish the stablecoin reserves. Unfortunately, it hasn't been enough. If you are curious to know more about Alameda and what are the resources that they are for real retaining, in these dashboards you can go through and you can understand which assets are held by Alameda and in which amount. Because what is happening is that they are trying literally to withdraw anything possible just to try to cover their position and to serve as a liquidity provider to fulfill, to nurture the reserves of FTX. Unfortunately, at a certain point, this process simply stopped because the resources available weren't enough to satisfy this need. So what happened is simply that FTX blocked all the withdrawals for 24 hours and are still stopped. The reality is that FTX were running out of liquidity, so it was asking for some help from a third party. And this third party came out that is Binance. So the big announcement today is that Binance is starting to acquire or is thinking to acquire FTX. I'm just saying that is thinking to acquire because the reality is that the deal hasn't come to an end yet. They simply said on Twitter that yes, they made a deal. They just shaked hands just to say, okay, if the due diligence will be fine, I, Binance, will buy FTX. The reality is that it's not an easy deal because, first of all, we know nothing about the real financial situation of FTX. Second, as you can see from this article, regulators, so antitrust, can literally stop this deal because maybe the market share of Binance could increase too much. So this is something that could be negative for the whole market. That's the reason why when you check the chart and when you go back to the hour time frame, as you can see here, we had this big first fall. After that, it's going sideways, and in a couple of minutes, the price simply pumped by, when we come to FTX, is about 20%. But if you check Binance coin, and it is here, the price is simply insane. It has gone up by 30%. And the weird thing is that after that, it has gone down by 30%. And here I want to stop for a second because what I'm wondering is, okay, but why this kind of pump and dump? Because it looks like really like a manipulation. And the reality is that, yes, with any probability, it is manipulation. Why? Because the liquidity into the exchanges is going down. The lower liquidity, the easier is to manipulate the price as you prefer. The reality is that in the moment when the market was pumping, big whales were already knowing that this deal were quite difficult to be completed, and it is not for granted that it will come to a positive end. So pumping the price just in order to dump it is just another way to really trigger a panic effect and increasing the selling pressure. And that's exactly what you can see in all the market, because this is the chart of Bitcoin, and as you can see, is going to touch again the level of June, and it has just updating it into the shadow of the day. We will see how it will end. The same is happening also to ETH, even if is slightly better because it is quite higher than the minimum of just delete this stuff. It's much higher than the minimum of June. So what we can expect right now from the market? The reality is that it's still too early to say. Obviously, if for any reason Bitcoin will close the day or a weekly candle even below this minimum, that's pretty dangerous, and maybe at that point it can really trigger another big downfall. And there is another thing that is quite peculiar. Do you remember what happened in the last bear market? Look at this chart. Do you know which day is this big red candle that has broken the market? This one that brought the market down by 53% in just a single week. Do you remember when it happened? It was just after the midterm election. So there are many coincidences that are, I'm not saying that will happen the same, but I'm simply saying that in the last time that happened that kind of scenario, in the moment when there was the midterm election and we have broken the local minimum, the price has gone down for Bitcoin by 50%, and the whole industry was literally bleeding. Will it happen again the same? I don't know. The only thing that I can say you is that, guys, pay attention. Don't think that it's just discounting price. It's much better to lose the opportunity to make money instead of losing everything. Right now, if for any reason we are losing this support, there is nothing that is keeping us above this level here or even lower. So pay attention, because it is possible to see another big flash crash just during the next couple of days or weeks. On the other side, it's still possible. It's just speculation. Just speculators are trying to bring down the price just in order to make more money in the moment when the price will start again. Another asset that we should take in consideration is Solana, that has been suffering a lot for this crash. As you can see, the last candle has brought the price from here to here. That is a downside of 57% just in about a week. Why it is happening? There are many reasons for it. First of all, people are worried that FTX, Alameda are really connected to Solana. So in the moment when they are insolvent, if they are for real, because the reality is that we still know nothing about the reality of the situation. We are just speculating and trying to analyzing the data from the blockchain. And it appears pretty clear that the situation is not clean. There are many indicators that are showing us that something is going on, and FTX and Alameda are having some kind of difficulties. Which is the real scenario and how bad it is, that's something that is not yet available and we can't know. So the reason why there is this selling pressure is because people are worried and they are starting to sell. And obviously when the price is starting to go down, there are many liquidations that are going on, bringing the price even at a lower level. Another thing that you should take in account is this one. In 21 hours, something like 47 million of Solana tokens will be released. And it means that it's possible to see even a higher selling pressure, something that can reach around 500 million or even more. It really depends from the price and from how many tokens will be sold, or if they want to just move them just to cover position. I don't know what will be the behavior of the holders, but what we can see is that people are moving SOL tokens, and that's dangerous. Generally speaking, coming to the end of this video because I don't want to keep longer. I will do other videos in the next couple of days just to keep you posted about the situation and to give you more details about what happened. But guys, pay attention because the situation is still far to an end and it can become much worse. So pay attention and try to stay safe. Be aware that other exchanges can have difficulties, and always remember, not your keys, not your crypto. So it's much better to keep your funds into your wallet. That's something that personally I have done. I have no cryptos into any exchange for the simple reason that in this kind of situation, I rather prefer safe and maybe not using them to earn easy money or not to trade on exchanges, but I rather prefer to stay safe. Do your personal evaluation, but be aware of the risk because right now the volatility is at a maximum. We can see a big pump of 30% in a couple of minutes, but another downside of 50, 60% in just a couple of hours. So be aware of that and behave constantly. Guys, let me know what you think about the whole story. Let me know into the comment section below. What will happen if Binance will for real acquire FTX, or if it's something that is a deal that is completely impossible. Tell me your opinion because the situation is quite delicate, and feel free to share with me also any kind of source because right now everything is happening so fast that it's really difficult to understand what are simply rumors and what is the reality. So if you have any other information, any kind of source, could be a tweet, an article or whatever, feel free to share it into the comment section. I will be more than happy to give it a look. Guys, stay safe and I will see you in another video. Bye guys.